Hello, friends. Welcome to my humble work on household budgeting. It's free of cost, free of any signups, free of any downloads, and it's fast to do. And I'll show you how. So this things comes out of my, when I was in my PG days, I was had a very limited cash, and to survive. So my spouse and I started budgeting back then, and we have kept doing it after my PhD. I'm doing very well. So the basic idea is that you want to save money. So any money saved is not subject to further tax, because any earning you do, it's subject to tax, right? And any investments you do, it grows. Um, so my thinking. So so you want to do some budgeting to save money monthly, um, and you want to be clever about it. Um, so adjust your expenses, and of course there would be monthly expenses done, and then you want to invest that money. Um, Now, investing seems like a daunting task to many. It did to me as well when I started, and I would show you it doesn't have to be that taxing. Um, and I call it jumpstart investing. I'm very proud of this thing. I've simplified it for people who want to start investing. All right, so let's get started with budgeting. So I have to get off the ground. There are like three parameters that you need to provide: the take home monthly income that you and your spouse or anybody else in the household bring in. Um, so let's say it's 6,000, and then number of adults, um, two is typical, and then minors. Let's leave that one for now, and that's it. Don't touch anything else. Now, if we don't put any other numbers, it will draw up a budget with recommended savings based on standard guidelines, and I'll show you how. So it's proposing a budget on the profile that we provided it, namely 6,000 take home income, two adults, one minors, and this is the recommended savings of on $6,000, and drew up a budget based on broadly 8 categories. Now, these are the recommendation that how you should split your money amongst different expenses. For example, house normally takes the largest chunk of the accommodation, is the most expensive expense I find in the West, and we see it here in this as well. Um, and in the market in Toronto and Vancouver, this is actually quite, the market is quite skewed. So I mean, a reasonable rent might be um, say $1,800. If you want to put mortgage, include property tax in it, and utility bills as well. Okay, so it might be too low. So let's put $1,900. Transport. So let's suppose you do public transport. So any toll routes and car installments and gas and insurance things, auto insurance. Let's say it comes around $900. This is food, edible items, grocery. You may find that I'm not going into too much detail, right? So the whole idea is to have big numbers, ballpark, just to get the expense under control. It's not doing nitpicking. So let's say $600 grocery. Grocery is usually cheaper. Um, any groceries go to Walmart. Is there, and no frills and Fortinos and all that. Communication. I think this is a little low. So let's pick it up a little bit. Childcare, $9. This does sound excessive. Now you may notice is this childcare, it doesn't include age for now. I'm thinking about it whether I should include age or not, and I would welcome your feedback. You can contact me here as well, and you may notice there is a like button here and budgeting now link that will take you to the Facebook page that I have. You can post your comments there as well. Anyway, back here. So for eating out, fun, cinema and stuff for the family. my app says around $250. So let's leave it at that. Health and medicine, again, it depends. Um, so this is the budget it proposes based on your take-home income, right? It could be higher or lower. I mean, if you're doing a full-time job, your expenses should be covered by the employer. You should have health insurance. The only thing you may have to pay is the dispensing fee. And the final thing is miscellaneous. Now, this is an umbrella item over here, so it includes other miscellaneous things like shopping and furniture and clothing and magazines and lottery and Dollarama, visit Dollarama and stuff. Now you may see, and so if we leave it at this, so what we're seeing right now, so most of these expenses stay similar across month over month. For example, housing and communication stay pretty much constant. Childcare, if you have a child goes to a particular daycare, they have a fixed cost as well. But miscellaneous can really be squeezed over here. So with sales, and you will go there, you would see that if you're looking for a particular item to buy right now, you can look at Flip app, which is a third-party app, awesome app. I really like it. It gives you electronic access to the flyers available in the market, and you can search for an item there. That item can also be shown at a particular vendor for the price match, or you can target for a particular sales cycle, particular item for in a particular sales cycle, and then there are sales cycles throughout the year. A different volume and magnitude. For example, Christmas sales are very, large number of items. Even legal bill I've seen going on sales. And other where some other things like, for example, Valentine, which is today. Things like lovey-dovey things go on sale, like perfume, chocolates, and things. So let's go back to our budget app, budget page. And so, okay, so that's where we are. So we changed these numbers, right? So we need to click on Save Now to revise. When I click on that, now it's telling me, so desired, which was recommended, was 600, but due to our change this, we are saving around $850. So an increase of $250, which is good. So for yearly savings would be around $10,000. Now, I'm going to come back to compare with others, which is a comparison with other participants with the same profile as you. So if you don't do anything with this money, inflation will eat it month after month. Year after year. So invest it, and you want to invest it. Why? Because to avoid inflation, and you want your money to grow. So I propose jumpstart investing. Now, investing, I know it seems very daunting. It does seem very daunting to me when I started, and I looked at many things, ranging from mutual funds, different investment accounts, RRSPs and TFSAs and all that mumbo jumbo. It is overwhelming, I must admit. So the fundamentals of jumpstart investing is first pay off any credit card debt or any high interest debt that you have. Could be line of credit as well, or any other loans that you owe to anyone else, third party B lenders or anyone else. First pay off that, because usually any investment return that you have is higher than any credit card debts or these stupid loans that you pick up from these B lenders or third party lenders. Keep 1 month's budget cash fluid in your checking account, just in case you are not cash constrained for your next month budget. I like to do that. Gives me that comfort feeling. And third one is put your remaining surplus cash in a flexible saving account. Open one if you don't have one, and I'm going to go back here in one-time setup to tell you a little bit more about it, to figure out what investment account and the investment product you want to use. Now, one-time setup. What does one-time setup include? It includes two accounts. Flexible high interest saving account, which does not require a minimum balance, doesn't lock any money in, and no withdrawal fee for a few months transaction. These are important because you don't want your money to be locked in unnecessarily or require a minimum balance, so you can be fluid in terms of your cash movement. The other account is a tax-free saving account, which is any money you put in here and invest from here doesn't incur any tax, where this would incur tax. Further, the money can be deposited and withdrawn any time, but there's a contribution limit, and it's 2000 in 2017 if you were 18 and years old and resident of Canada in 2009. I'll let you read the rest in detail. And I only recommend one investment product to get you started. And if this is a mutual fund, so any money in the mutual fund can be liquidated at any time, and all banks offer different mutual funds, and you can set up based on your own risk tolerance level. So generally, higher the risk, higher the return. So there are three types of risk classes. Safest is basically putting it into some kind of a money market or a bond type thing. It has minimal risk. And the other end, aggressive, which is put all the money in some kind of equity or well, there is heavily focused on equity, which is shares or stocks, right? But you don't have to worry about it because the mutual fund manager would manage the investments and selling on your behalf, right? So basically, you are delegating the buying and selling to somebody else. And yes, you do have to pay a fee for it. And then the third category is balanced and growth. So it's basically a mix of these two. So this just one mutual fund, I would ask to pick one just to get started, because there's so many products out there, and too many products, too much choice actually make life hell, I would say. So to get started and avoid being plagued by too many choices, just start with one investment product. You can always choose a different one later on. So if you go back, so fundamentals done, one-time setup done. So if you have any money on top of these things, if it's between 0 to 500, put it there, leave it there. The flexible saving account, if it's more than 500, put that into top of your mutual funds. And it is possible to set up automatic contribution with as low as $25. Finally, I must state, I'm not a financial advisor. This is, my experience with investments, and which I'm sharing with you. It's proposition, and as you see, I don't charge any money for it. So please don't sue me if things don't turn out to be the way you want. All right. I also request your one question feedback. I only ask one question, in return, to make this thing better. So let's go back. If we go back here, compare with others was one thing that I said I'll tell you later, which is compare your profile with other 3 people who are the same profile as you, namely who have the same income as you, and the same number of adults and same family as you, basically. It's telling you there are, to this point, there are around 853 participants. So amongst them, you are 28th. Well, you're not 28th. You are one of the 28 ones. And it's telling you your expenses compared with the average expense of those 28 participants. and the difference is in the bracket. Positive difference is good, which means you're doing better. So over here, if you look at it, we're mostly doing better, except over here and over here. This is over total expenses, which is basically a sum of from here to here and here to here. So we're doing about 4% better than the participant. The actual savings we are doing is just under the participant average. If you want to view it graphically, maybe much more, things will become much more clear. So the red dot is a participant average. You can think of it as a limit. So anytime the blue bar crosses it or overlaps it, means this is bad, indicates overspending compared to the participant average. Again, I would request you to give me a one question feedback. I'm not asking you, bombarding you with many questions, although I would like that, but your feedback as much as possible. But this should be enough for now. One question for now. Thank you very much. This is my first recording that I'll post to the YouTube and refine it further. Thank you.